Hi everyone, welcome to the second picture from this Hanna Karlzon page. This is a sort of autumnal page of lots of little bits and pieces from her seasons book. Now this one here, when I did my flip through I joked and said it's a turnip, but I think it really is, because actually in Scotland I think it is, they used to carve turnips instead of pumpkins when it was sort of Halloween. So I can't see any reason why this isn't a turnip, to be honest, so that's how we're going to colour it. I've still got my Arteza pencils and I'm a little bit worried because I can't find the right colour for my turnip, but we shall persevere on and see. Now I'm thinking with a turnip, quite often they look different depending on which variety, but they're often a little bit creamy white at the top and then the bottom is a sort of pink. I've got this Garnet red which I'm going to try to use. Again, I apologise for the light, it's a bit iffy in here today, but let's come in closer because I think that helps. And we'll just do the actual vegetable part and we'll do the leaves in a bit. So normally I think the pinky bit is at the bottom. Now it's a little bit orangey red for my liking. I'm going to add another colour on top. That's why I'm doing it quite lightly, because I just haven't got quite the right colour. So we're going to do that and then just fade it up a little bit until we get to about halfway up. I'm just going to fade it there. Okay, now I want a more pinky colour. I'm just having a look if there's a sort of I'm going to try, I'm going to try the Peony pink, but I'm not entirely sure if it's going to work, so hold your horses and have a look. I just want to put a very light layer on top just to make it look a little bit less red. I think that's okay. It is darkening it a little bit, but I think it's fine. Now I've gone really gently and haven't done a lot of intricate work, but I think that's what I want really, because think about a turnip is a root vegetable. If you've not seen one before, imagine a sweet potato. So the skin is very matte, doesn't really shine or reflect light. So not really going to need to do too much with it. I do want to do a sort of creamy colour. Excuse me, phone's ringing. Right, I am back. I am trying to look for a slightly creamy colour to do the top of the turnip. Now, sometimes it's also a tiny bit green just around here, or this sort of pink colour. I thought I would find a little bit of green just to do around the top, and I think I use this pear green. Seems to me to be the right sort of shade, and then we'll only a hint, it doesn't need to be too much, and then we'll do the find a creamy colour. I think I'm just going to go for the palest yellow, which is the Sapphire yellow. Now this paper is cream anyway, but I want it to not look like I've left it white. So I'm just going to put it's really light. I don't want it to look too yellowy, but we don't really have a cream. If you've got a set of pencils with a good cream in, it might be better to use that rather than, but I think that's okay. Nice and light, and we're done. Now we have the top leaves. I'll have to zoom out a little. Get them all in shot. Now I can't remember what colour the leaves of a turnip are, because when I buy them in the supermarket that bit's been chopped away, but I think we'll just have a go, see what we can think of really. I could look it up, but I don't have anything electronic with me in here. That's what I like about my little recording room. It's just me and no I obviously got a camera, but nothing else. So I'm going to use the Fern green to start. What I would like to do with these is to make the leaf slightly darker than this vein that goes over the top, so that it can, that can look like it's slightly raised. I've got no idea if that's how a turnip leaf looks, but I just think it will be fun. So I'm running this darker green along the edge and then just scumbling it out a little bit and just drawing a light layer of colour out from that centre. Now this is a little bit bluey green, that isn't the colour that I want for my final leaf, but it's going to add that sort of darker area that I'm looking for, like that. We're going to do the same on every leaf and then use a different colour to go over the top, which will take away some of the blueness and help to finish it off really. Now this is a much bigger leaf than that one, so I'm going to take this colour out a bit further, just because I don't want it to just be a line border. I want it to just fade towards the edge. I don't know whether leaves look like this, but I'm just having some fun with it really. It's lovely to have another Hanna Karlzon book. I've got loads on my wish list because I've just fallen in love with her books, and I find that apart from pages like this when we've just got individual objects, which are actually quite rare in her books, I always feel like they need a background, and it just pushes me to do one when maybe I would be lazy in other books when it doesn't look like it needs one. I think it's because most of the pictures are scenes, and when there's a scene I think it needs a background. For example, if you've got a house with a tree beside it and then some bushes and some grass or something, then I think you have to do some sky or some forest behind or something like that. It doesn't look right if there's white. In my head, I'm not saying I'm right, that's how I think when I'm looking at a picture like that. So I have to step out of my comfort zone and put a background. I'm just trying to work out what's going here, put a background into that picture. You know, only a blue sky, and I say only, that can be daunting, but you know, you can just push a bit of pastel over. It doesn't have to be too difficult. But when I'm looking at some books, you know, it's a picture of a cat or something. I just colour the cat. I don't need to worry about what's going on around it. I can just not do a background. And of course, sometimes that's exactly what I want. I don't want to do a background. I think that bit needs to be dark green. But sometimes, you know, I want to push myself and do something a bit more. I've also seen, I don't know what it is, with Hanna Karlzon's books, I rarely see a picture that's done that looks like a beginner's done it. They always look so complex with multimedia or absolutely amazing art, like someone looks like a professionally qualified artist or whatever. They always look so good, and that almost pushes me to feel like I've got to do something that good, which of course I haven't. And that is a problem, I think, sometimes with colouring for people, is that you see someone else's amazing thing and it just makes you think, well, I could never do that. So you just almost give up before you start. And really, we must make sure that none of us do that. That's not a healthy way to be. I'm just trying to pick my next green while I'm waffling on. But I quite understand how it can be, how you can feel. This is Matcha green. Oh, I can't make it show up for you. Ugh, turn it this way and that way. No, Matcha green. So I'm just going to continue, go over the top of what I've done and continue that colour to the edge of the leaf. And this colour is much nicer, I think, than the one I put down, but mixed together it gives a good effect. And we'll go over that stalky bit too, and it looks lighter. So that's why in a way I prefer the books, because they push me a little bit, and the artwork I see is just so beautiful. But as I say, you mustn't let it get you down and make you feel daunted. You know, we're all at different stages in our art learning. Some of us will already be a professional artist, absolutely amazing. We can look at a picture, come up with amazing ideas and just go with it. Others of us, like me, have never been professionally trained. I dropped art as soon as I could at school because I didn't like it. I wasn't confident in it. I used to get laughed at for my attempts. So it took me a long time to build up my confidence with my colouring. but I began to realise that I can't draw very well. I can if I really sit down and I spend a very long time concentrating, I can copy something, drawing, but it doesn't bring me joy. You know, I find it stressful, and so I've realised that that isn't what I want to do. But adding colour to something someone else has drawn, adding shading, adding shadows, adding blending colours and that sort of thing, I absolutely love. So it's just recognising what you like. So if you hate doing backgrounds, they stress you, you don't enjoy them, don't do them. Really don't. There's no need. It should just be about having fun. Remember, none of us are going to take our pictures and enter them for the summer exhibition at the what's it called, that art gallery in London, or try and make a living by selling our pictures. In fact, we're not allowed to. That's against the copyright of the book. So we can't do that anyway. So it's not about trying to be the best, trying to compete with everybody else. It should just be about having fun. And believe it or not, I am really enjoying colouring this turnip. It's just a turnip. It's great fun. And I'm liking how it's come out, the leaves. I think they really look nice. Now we've got dots on the leaves, which I didn't not notice. I just wasn't sure what to do with them. But now I've decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab the Coyote brown, which is a very greeny brown, and I'm going to make them dark, because I think maybe they're little dense. Dense? It's not the right word. Dimples? Divots? I can't get the right word in the leaf. So they're set into the leaf, so be a bit shadowy. So if we put this darker colour in there, might help to give that impression. That's what I'm thinking. They might be quite the opposite. They might be standing out on the leaf. But as I haven't looked up what the leaf looks like, I've got no idea. I have to just make it up. Sometimes that makes me feel a bit uncomfortable, you know, because I'm not very good with my imagination. But today I'm okay with it. So let's zoom out and have a look at our whole thing and have a think. Is that done? Now, I really feel like I want to make that look a bit more rounded. So I'm just going to work on that a little bit. I've got to pick my colour carefully. I want to add a little bit of shadow to each end of this. I don't really want to add colour, but I don't want to use black. I'm thinking maybe a browny grey is what I really want. That's not a browny grey, that's too light. I think I'm going to have to go with the charcoal grey. Now this is a bit out there and it might look awful, so wait. So I'm just really gently, I just want to go around that edge. You can see it's just such a light line, and then just bring it in just a tad even lighter. Do the same on the other side, and what I'm trying to achieve is to make it look a little bit more spherical. I know it's not exact sphere, but I hope you know what I mean. A bit more rounded rather than flat. We're just putting a little indication of shadow, and I'm also going to take it down here a little bit. Again, it's a little bit tricky, but we'll get there. There we go. And a bit of shadow just under a few of these lower leaves. There, that's it. I'm not going to fiddle anymore. I'm just going to lift that up so you can see it flat. It can be quite difficult to see when the page is closed like that. But there is our turnip. Well, that was fun. I really enjoyed that. I don't know why, it's just a turnip, but I had good fun. I have no idea what these are, but that's what I'm going to do next. I shall have a think and have a go. Anyway, but thank you for now for watching. I hope that was okay. I had fun. I hope you did. Have a really lovely day and happy colouring.